Hey everybody, and welcome to another deep dive with me.
Then me.
So today we're looking at how we use language in romantic situations.
That's right.
We found a great episode of the podcast, SmartPodcast.
It's all about learning English.
Yeah, and they do a really cool analysis of a dialogue between a couple.
A couple who are having some troubles, it seems like.
Yeah, they're having a bit of a tough conversation where the woman asks that classic question.
Oh, yeah.
Where is this relationship going?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Right. And the hosts of SmartPodcast dig into all the different things that question could really mean.
Because it's so much more than just like, what are we literally doing?
Totally. It's really about needing some reassurance and clarity.
Yeah, like what does our future together look like?
Exactly. And it's cool because they compare that to other phrases we use in romantic situations.
Like what?
Well, they talk about the difference between to love and to be in love.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting.
Because we use those almost interchangeably sometimes.
Yeah, but they don't actually mean the same thing.
Right. Like I love pizza,
Yeah.
but I'm not in love with pizza.
Okay, good clarification.
Right. So to be in love is about a much deeper connection, and it's usually romantic.
Yeah, you don't tell your friends that you're in love with them usually.
But that would be a different kind of podcast.
Yeah, maybe a different deep dive.
Exactly. Okay, so another phrase SmartPodcast talks about is, can we talk?
Oh. Right. That one always means serious business.
Yeah, you know a difficult conversation is coming.
I wonder if the woman in this dialogue uses that phrase.
Oh, I check.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she does.
Really?
Right at the beginning.
Wow. So you know right away something is up.
Totally.
Oh.
And those three words completely change the tone of everything.
It's like going from 0 to 60 in a second.
Okay, so then there's this other phrase they talk about.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
I say that one all the time.
We too. But SmartPodcast pointed out that it's not just about conveying information.
Like you're looking for agreement, right?
Yeah, you want the other person to understand your experience.
And to validate how you're feeling.
Totally. And they said the way you say it can make a big difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if you're complaining about something.
This party's so boring. You know what I mean?
Right. Or you could use it to soften a statement.
Yeah. Right.
Like if you need a break from your partner or something.
Yeah, like I think we need some space. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Okay, and then there's this one that I thought was super interesting.
Okay. What is it?
Maybe it's just time we...
Ooh, that sounds ominous.
I know, right? It seems like it always comes before a big decision.
Yeah.
And in the dialogue on SmartPodcast,
Yeah.
the girlfriend actually uses it to suggest breaking up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she says, maybe it's time we went our separate ways.
So she's not saying it directly, but she's definitely putting it out there.
Right. It's like she's starting the conversation about their future.
Yeah, it's heavy stuff.
Definitely. Okay, so we've been talking about these kind of heavier phrases, but what about those cute little nicknames couples use?
Oh, the pet names.
Yeah. SmartPodcast talks about those too, and I'm curious what you think about them.
Well, I think they can be really sweet, but they can also be kind of cheesy.
Totally. Some of them are so embarrassing.
Yeah, but I think they tell us a lot about how close a couple is.
And how comfortable they are with each other.
Yeah, like some couples have really unique pet names that only they understand.
That's true.
So SmartPodcast talks about some of the classic ones.
Like honey and baby.
Yeah, those are pretty standard.
And then there are some that are a little much.
Like Sweetie Pie and Honey Bunny.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Those are definitely a bit cringy.
But it's interesting because they combine sweetness with this kind of like
what?
Like the person is a little kid or something.
That's true. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're claiming the other person a little bit.
And I guess that could be cute or it could be annoying.
Totally depends on the couple.
Yeah. And then SmartPodcast points out that different cultures have different pet names.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Like in Spanish, they sometimes use gorda.
Which means fat.
Yeah. Which is super weird to us in English.
Yeah, but it's meant to be affectionate.
So it shows that you can't always translate things literally.
Right, because the meaning can be totally different.
And they also mention the French one, ma puce.
Which means my flea.
Which is even weirder.
Yeah, but again, it's supposed to be cute and playful.
So it's fascinating how these little words can mean such different things.
It definitely makes you think about all the different ways people express love around the world.
Absolutely. So we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be back to talk more about our own thoughts on all this.
Sounds good. You know, it's funny thinking about that "can we talk" phrase. It's like it's become this universal signal for
Totally. Like everyone knows it means something serious is about to go down.
Right. And it makes you wonder if there's a better way to start these conversations.
Like a way that doesn't make everyone so anxious.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what if instead of saying, "Can we talk?" You said, "Hey, I've been thinking about this and I'd like to chat about it when you have time."
Oh, that's so much better.
Right. It's more of an invitation.
And less like a confrontation.
Exactly.
So SmartPodcast also talks about how those pet names can change over time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like you don't just stick with honey and baby forever.
Sometimes those nicknames become more personal.
Yeah, like based on inside jokes or things you love about each other.
Right. It's like your own little secret language.
Oh, that's cute.
And sometimes those unique pet names can be hilarious.
Oh, tell me about it.
I knew a couple who called each other Professor Poopy Pants and Queen Sparkle Butt.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Right? It's like they just embraced the silliness.
It's so funny how those things happen.
But this deep dive also made me think about how important it is to be careful with language in relationships.
Yeah, for sure.
Like we said, even those little phrases can have a big impact.
And you have to be sensitive to how the other person might feel.
Like SmartPodcast talked about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how it can sometimes feel like you're putting pressure on someone.
To agree with you.
Exactly. So you have to be mindful of that.
So basically, communication in relationships is all about being honest, but also considerate.
Yeah, you have to find that balance.
Where you can express yourself, but also respect the other person.
Right, and sometimes that means choosing your words carefully.
Or being willing to have those difficult conversations.
In a way that feels safe for everyone.
Yeah, that's so important.
You know something else that struck me about this deep dive?
What's that?
It's how much culture influences our language.
Oh, yeah.
What we find romantic in one culture could be totally different in another.
Like those pet names we were talking about.
Exactly. So it's important to be aware of those differences.
Especially when you're interacting with people from different backgrounds.
Right. You don't want to accidentally offend someone.
Or make them uncomfortable.
It's all about being respectful and understanding.
And being open to learning new things.
Exactly. So I think this deep dive has been really insightful.
Me too. It's made me think about how I use language in my own relationships.
So as we move into the last part of our deep dive,
Okay.
I want to talk about how language can actually shape our romantic experiences.
Ooh, that's interesting. So not just reflect them, but actually change them.
Exactly. Like the words we use can actually influence how we feel and act.
So it's like we're creating our own romantic reality.
That's a great way to put it.
It's wild to think that the words we use can actually shape our relationship.
It really is like how we talk to each other can make things better or worse.
Right. Like if you always focus on the negative, it's like you're creating this bad energy.
Exactly. It's like you're building up walls instead of tearing them down.
Yeah, it's like that saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
But we all know that words can definitely hurt.
Totally. So if negative words can hurt, then positive words can probably help.
Exactly. And there's research that shows this is true. Yeah, like couples who use positive language during arguments are more likely to work things out.
Oh, that makes sense.
And they're also more likely to be happy in their relationship.
Wow. So it's like you're creating a good environment with your words.
It's like you're speaking love into existence.
I like that. And it reminds me of something else you were talking about.
What's that?
The stories we tell about our relationships.
Oh, yeah, like how we talk about our past experiences.
Yeah, because the way we frame those memories can actually change how we feel about them.
Exactly. Like think about how you talk about your first date with your partner.
You probably focus on the good stuff.
Right. You highlight those special moments and those feelings of excitement.
And that makes you feel even more in love.
Exactly. And it's the same with challenges.
Oh, yeah.
If you see every argument as a disaster, then it's going to feel really bad.
But if you can see those arguments as a way to learn and grow,
then it can actually make your relationship stronger.
it's all about perspective.
Exactly. It's like those couples who have been together for years and are still so happy.
I bet they're really good at communicating.
And they probably focus on the positive.
So I guess the main takeaway from all of this is language is super important in relationships.
It really is. And we should all try to use it in a way that builds each other up.
Instead of tearing each other down.
Exactly. We should create a language of love.
So to everyone listening,
Yeah.
pay attention to the words you use with your partner.
Are you being supportive and encouraging?
Or are you being critical and negative?
Because those words have power.
They can really make a difference in your relationship.
So choose them wisely.
And remember to have fun with it.
Yeah, find those silly nicknames that make you laugh.
And create your own special language of love.
Because love is the most important language of all.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone.
We'll see you next time.